You guessed it, this episode I'm going over more of your emails and an interesting website where you can play Naruto on. Let's get started.
Ready?
Our first email comes from Jaywalk, and he writes, I'm just wondering, is there any online Naruto card games that I can find? Because I would find it really interesting and I would love to try it. It's funny you ask that, because I wanted to help endorse a website somebody was kind enough to share with me not too long ago. It's called Trade Cards Online. The URL is tradecardsonline.com, simple as that, and there's a link directly to the site in the description box. This site allows you to play games like Naruto, Bandai's Dragon Ball, and Yu-Gi-Oh!, as well as quite a few other games. There's a tournament system, and they record win and loss records for monthly standings. You can even go back and watch games other people played, or review your own games to catch any misplays that you may have made. Creating a deck is pretty easy with their search engine, but if you want to try a build someone else created, you can use any of the already made decks on the site, so long as they're not private. I really suggest heading over to the site and trying it out. Thanks for the message. AlexFire13 writes, what do you think of the new Threat of Power of State 2? Do you like it? First, let's go over the card itself. It's a water mission, obviously. Turn 2, hand cost 1. Permanent. When this card is in play, the name of this card is considered to be Power of State 2. When this mission's effect is applied, if you have another in-play Power of State 2 mission card, you can search for one State 2 ninja card in your deck, show it to your opponent, and place it in your hand. Then shuffle your deck. When you put in play a State 2 ninja card, draw one card. I actually like this card. I think it pretty much overshadows and replaces the old Power of State 2 mission card, a card I couldn't even stand looking at. Power of State 2 ate up resources just to grab a jutsu, and while this may be good when you have field control and lots of chakra, if you didn't have both of these, it was pretty much a dead card. This card, however, is the much needed substitute State 2 Ninja have been hurting for. Although it looks like it will see some play, I believe players have the wrong idea about this card. It seems players want to use this card alongside the old Power of State 2 mission, which I believe is a mistake. Using 3 of these by themselves and no Power of State 2 seems like the most consistent idea. And let me just hang on a second and I'll explain to you why. The effect to search your deck for a ninja when you play Threat while Power is still in play is great, don't get me wrong, but I'd much rather play multiple copies of Threat than hoping I draw Power and play it first and then draw Threat in that order. Also, don't forget that playing multiple threats rather than Power and Threat doesn't forfeit the effect to search your deck for a State 2 ninja. Because if you have Threat in play, it gains the name Power State 2. Then when you play the second threat, you gain the effect to search for a ninja. Then when you put that ninja into play, you draw one card for each of the missions that you have in play. This allows you to possibly draw into your jutsu as well as other cards that you may possibly need. Sure, you don't get to search for it like Power will allow you to, but you don't have to give up the 2 chakra as well. You just draw 2 cards, or more if you have even a third threat in play. Which I believe that's an exchange I'll be more than willing to make. The next question comes from Team Aku1, and he writes, Hey Shin, I always love your vids, but I need help on Naruto because 2 of my team members got into the game, and I want to know if a Dedera deck is good, because from everyone I heard that it is decent, but in the next set they'll be giving it support. Also, I don't know what elements that contains. Well, first of all, Dedera is an Earth card, so more than likely you'll be playing an Earth deck. It just so happens that Earth decks just got a really huge push in support and is an all-around great element to play. The Dedera version of the deck I think is one of the decks people build for flavor instead of for its competitive aspect. I'm not saying that Dadera isn't competitive whatsoever, it's just that when fans build a deck, they throw in almost all of his jutsu and none that most of the ninja in the deck can use. Meaning if Dadera goes down, or for whatever reason never hits play, you have no outs for your other ninjas at all. There are many great ways to build a deck, but my number one suggestion is don't forget about your other ninja. They may need to use jutsu, at least one or two, sometime throughout the game, so don't just load up on only Dadera's jutsu. By nature, Earth is a deck that revolves around their missions and field control, making jutsu not as important in their decks as it is in others. But that doesn't mean that all your jutsu should have only one user. Also, if you're using Plastic Arts Dadera, more times than not, he won't even need to use jutsu. Just keep spamming those bomb coins and use missions to fuel your chakra so you can keep blowing up your opponent's ninja. That's going to do it for this episode, but before I go, I wanted to ask you guys, should I focus some more on the Dragon Ball game, or would you rather the show be predominantly Naruto based? Let me know about that. Don't forget to check out Trade Cards Online, and as always, thanks for training at the dojo. Take care.